I have a young lady here. You have a business. What is your name?
My name is Brittany Edwards, and my business is called Candid Foreplay. It's an adult novelty and lingerie store.
Okay. We're not doing anything. We're not showing no whips, and we're not showing none of that in here. Okay. We try to keep it clean and legit. Maybe on the extra show. We can do anything you want this, but we have to show respect. Okay, but one thing I admired you about about doing even if you're doing this and that, it's still a business, right?
Yes.
How'd you start your business?
So I wanted an extra source of income because I just think it's important to have multiple streams of income. And so I have, my day job, but I plan on going to law school. So I thought to myself it would be a great idea to start this business now so that when I'm, prepared to go to law school, I'll be kind of set financially. And so I thought of what my friends were doing, what kind of businesses they held. And so I thought, okay, I'm not really interested in selling clothing or making clothing, anything like that. And I just thought that this type of business was very different. And it's interesting. I'm in my early 20s, so, and I'm at that age where a lot of women are getting engaged, married. So, and that's, part of my business. So, parties and things like that. And it's fun to network with other young women in that kind of setting. So I just thought it would be really a great business idea, but also fun. I wanted to keep it fun because
you have to have a passion for what you have to have a passion out loud enough. You have to have a passion in what you do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it was just fun to research. So I just made sure that whatever business I had, it was something I could be passionate about and that I could have fun learning more about.
Stop right there. You had to research, right?
Yes.
You just didn't sit back here. But they said that it's a strange thing. They had what's it called, the 80-20 principle, whereas you just a little bit about it, then the rest come along later on, right?
Yeah, no, I needed to do as much research as possible just because I want to make sure that I'm selling high quality products. So it's not, you have to research the vendors that you get your products from. It's not just because it's such an.
No, this could apply. This could apply to any other business too, right?
Right, but specifically in this business, it's so unregulated that I had to do the research myself to make sure that my customers trust me.
Okay.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing. Trusting your customers trust you. That's important, right?
Mm-hmm. Good customer service, yes.
That plays a lot of people don't think about customer service. You sit back, you try to bull you and argue and everything. Like, well, I'll take this. I got sometimes tell me, look, let me. I went to the fair. I think it was a multi-level marketing company, and the lady said, well, don't worry, you're not under no obligation. I said, okay, well, I'll go. All right. Next thing you know, come to the point they wanted me to say, well, don't you see the plan? Don't you? I mean, they tried to beat me down to get. Come on now. Y'all told me that I was just gonna sit back here under no obligation. Now how I'm gonna sit back and sell it? See, that's another thing. How I'm gonna sit back and you beat me down? How I'm gonna sell it? I'll sell it to somebody. I'm gonna beat them down. I think a foundation. What kind of business a person runs too. I think that's very important.
What kind of business and how they run it, yes.
Yeah, how they run it.
I
look at
your customers.
Yeah. I don't sit back and jump. You can't just jump. But this, you mentioned to me, this is very important, between something that's very popular, started in Wyoming, now it's all over the place. LLC. Tell me about it. Tell us about LLC. You want to set something business.
Okay, so there are websites like LegalZoom that you can use, and they will help you create whatever entity you want. So either an LLC, sole proprietorship, an LLP, anything like
What's
that.
the difference between a sole proprietorship and an LLC?
I'm not like a financial advisor or anything like that, so I can't really speak to that. But the major benefit is, well, as a sole proprietorship, you can your income taxes, your business tax is run through as your personal tax. And the same thing can be for an LLC. However, it's a limited liability company. So if someone wanted to sue me and I had a sole proprietorship, they would be seizing my assets, my personal assets.
They take you to the cleaners?
Excuse me?
They'll take you to the cleaners?
Basically. But with an LLC, they can only take my assets within the business. So it's very important sometimes to not let it be known who exactly owns the LLC that way, because that's another way that they might be able to sue you is once they find out who owns the LLC.
You know, there was an incident that happened with a lottery ticket, and these people got together, and they, a group of co-workers, they got together, and they won the lottery. And the one thing in the lottery in New York, they wanted to publicize it. I think the governor, he didn't sign it. He wanted the people to publicize it. And then the people say, well, why'd you do with LLC? And you know what they did? They took his advice and went up for an LLC. Ain't nobody know who got the money. That was smart. He kept what he has to say at times too. Because LLC said, and they're all together, they got the money. Then nobody know who's who. That's all you need. Go public, all your relatives and people you ain't seen in a long time. Everybody be coming out with the woodwork and trying to get everything. Also, well, I want to have this enterprise, cuz. Well, look, I'm an enterprise before you met me. Before you ain't never called me. Ask my, no. Forget about it. Oh boy. But that's the difference, all right?
And so again, you can use websites like LegalZoom who help you every step of the way. So not only do they create the business for you, they give you your tax ID number, which is important. As an LLC, you need that, whereas a sole proprietorship, you would be using your social security number. There's also, you get access to attorneys and things like that, but it's a huge cost, which is why I didn't do it starting out. I would consider using it soon.
I'm glad you mentioned it. The most important thing, no matter kind of business, you have to start small, right?
Yeah.
Some people, I know a gentleman, he said, oh, I need $100,000 and $1 million. What are you gonna do with it? You up here sneaking on the subway. You want $1 million for what?
Yes, and that's why it's really important, though, to really list out all the expenses you think you might need. Like in addition to creating an LLC, that's about $235 just for that piece of paper.
That's it. In
New York.
Yeah, it's in New York. Other places vary.
Yeah, so New York is a very expensive place to incorporate, but in order to do so, you have to be a resident and you have to make sure that you're carrying your business in New York.
But also, too, we were talking. I was reading this book, and I'm gonna show you the book later on. I brought the book with me. I won't advertise the guy's name in the air. He mentioned about a Nevada company.
Yeah, so
something about a Nevada company.
I've heard that creating an LLC in Nevada and Delaware are the most easiest to incorporate, even if you live out of state. The tax benefits are better. Of course, Nevada has a really good tax benefit because of all the casinos there, so that's a big reason why people like to incorporate there. I chose to do New York State. It's simpler. It's where I live, so of course it's pricey. Publishing, when you create an LLC or any type of entity, I believe, you do have to publicize that in a weekly journal and a daily journal for about 6 consecutive issues. And so that's a huge cost too. That's over $1,000. So it's just really important to list out all the legal requirements and how much money it would cost to satisfy all your obligations legally, in addition to keeping up with social media. How much does a Squarespace or Wix account cost? Do you need to send out email?
But you have to start small, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people have these. I met people with these granny old eyes. Oh, and next year they're out of business before you know it. They ain't get in the business. They're out of business. They owe everybody all this money.
Yeah, and so when I first created it, I researched all the free services I could use. I go to the Financial Empowerment Center right in Harlem on 125th and 5th Avenue. I go there monthly, and they don't really help with businesses necessarily, but more so personal finance, which is what I really needed in order to, gain more control over my personal finances so I can carry that on into my business. So I can be smart about how I'm spending my money with the business.
I think that's so important. Also too, I do still a little something on the side. I stress to people about getting, I agree 1,000%, a second income, because especially with these jobs nowadays. I have one instance during the week, a friend of mine told me, she getting ready to move, and she said, the job says stay as long as you want. You get, and she's of old age, she's up in age. And some jobs tell you, just like they do at one of these chain stores, when 9 o'clock comes, we hanging out there, so get out. And they had jobs that tell you to get out. We don't give you no time, even the Army gave me a little time to sit back and give us something together if I went overseas. They tell you to get out. People say these bosses don't love you. They don't love you, folks. I'm sorry, they don't love you. They don't love you.
They don't love what you can do for them.
And then after that, well, that's it, And they get on, So you got to have a game plan. One must have a game plan. I love doing this, and I work, in an agency. I had to disclose that I do this. I ain't disclosing nothing. No, but that's what I ain't. Even if I was getting paid for it, I wouldn't disclose nothing. Why should I? Because people know what you're doing. Next thing you know, the job boss. Oh well, you don't need that Tom or Jane no more. You don't know what's on these people's minds. And things are, times are not getting no better. The times will get better when you have something on the side, right? You agree, everybody?
Yes.
You have something on the side. You got one to have it on the side.
Yeah, having an entrepreneurial spirit is a must nowadays. Your job can really fire you at any moment. And work, right? So
I learned from experience. They took us all in the office one day. Put us all in the office. They get off the phones. Come in the office. Let them, instead of violate this, they mess up anyway. Come on in the office. We got something to tell you. We're doing this. We're doing that. And they had the names. Look, I was already getting ready to hang up my rock and roll shoes anyway. Good thing I did, because I wouldn't live where they were going to send me. Oh my God. I couldn't take it anymore. I wouldn't take it anymore. But one must be prepared, and one must have something going for them. I'll end it off with this. It's just like a minister. Of all the ministers and the preachers, this gentleman told us a long time ago, he had a motivational class. The late Roy Jeffries mentioned that you should have something on the side. And he taught us like how borrow other people's, old MP, borrowing money and stuff. I mean, he was on the ball. I don't know about these guys up here today. That's another story in itself. But he mentioned you had to have something. He preached the Lord and all, but he said, you got to have something on the side. He's a nice guy. He was a nice guy. He's from Panama. He's a nice guy. I would like to thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, sister. Give it up for who?
Brittany Edwards of Candid Foreplay.
Also, too, I was asking you, you said that your grandmother had a show, right?
Yes. So it's called Jackie and Company.
Remember Jackie and Company over in Manhattan? Yeah, over in Manhattan.
Yep.
She's been
still going strong, yeah.
She's still going. And we got to keep public access alive, too, now. Because if you don't keep public access alive, Mr. Park, you ain't got no place to sell. That's it. It's over. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You gonna come back again?
Of course.
Come back again. We always have a good time up here. Give it up for who again?
Brittany Edwards.
Brittany Edwards, everybody! And Miss Crawford coming on next! Miss Crawford. Hey! Come back to me! Come back to me! Oh my goodness! Young lady went to college at George Washington University. And in case you tune in, what's that name?
Malena Crawford.
And what's that name again?
Malena Crawford.
And the name one more time, if you don't mind.
Malena Crawford.
Give it up for Malena. Give it up. I'm up here. Oh my goodness. Oh, Miss Crawford. Woo. Phenomenal lady. Phenomenal lady. Look at this. Look at this picture. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Back here. Look at that. Miss Crawford, how did you start writing a book like this?
Well, it started with the personal journey of healing, actually.
Yes.
So, July 2013, Trayvon Martin's murder got off.
Yes.
And I was livid with God, very angry. And the prayer and the question that I had was, why in the 21st century are Black and brown people still so oppressed? And, you know, why do we still have no justice? And so the answer that I got back became my novel. It became A Fistful of Honey. For the next 2 months after that, I woke up like clockwork at 3 o'clock in the morning with all of this information, and it became the novel.
What kind of information?
What has happened with Black people spiritually, what our place is spiritually, and how we got to a place of servitude, and a place of oppression, and how we can then step into our power.
This and in this book it mentioned about how they stepped into their power, right? What was the name of the young lady who was in the book?
So her name is Alina Ford.
Okay.
Which sounds a little like Malena Crawford, right?
Okay.
So it was a piece of myself that I was giving away. The old piece of myself is the character. So she's going on a journey of brokenness to wholeness, the same way that I went on a journey from brokenness to wholeness. Yeah.
Is this sort of based on you a little bit, or?
I would say a lot of it.
A lot of it, for real?
I would say a lot of it. Yeah, it's definitely, of course it's fiction and not everything that she goes through I went through, but a lot of it is my own story. So in order to come into wholeness, she has to save the world, so it's got a little science fiction twist. But in order to do that, she has to step into her divinity as a Black woman. And there is where the magic starts.
And then she had, as they would say, the Beatles saw, she had a little help from her friends too, right?
Yes, she did.
Oh, now we can't give it all away. Y'all got it. No, I don't say here. Well, y'all gotta buy it. Don't see me. Y'all gotta check it out. Because I can't go on board.
Well, I don't mind saying a few of the friends.
Yeah.
So one of them is Mary Magdalene.
Yes.
One of them is Oshun, who is a Yoruba goddess of love. So she's got some powerful friends in there.
And these powerful friends helped her out, though, especially with that mean. What was the name of that mean husband she had?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a real bum, you know. I mean, he sit back here and he was spread to throw women in front of his face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she had a big time, nice little job at the law office. You see, that I'm telling you, don't fall. These bosses don't love you.
No. Yes, but what she does learn is that, and I think all of us need to learn, there are difficult teachers on our path. They look like boogeymen. They can even look like abusers. But they, even in that cruelty, he had a lesson to offer her that really helped her come into who she is.
Because she was living that lapse of luxury. I mean, she had this, she had that, this. I mean, she was rolling.
Yeah.
And then her little daughter, like we're talking about kids, and how that mean man sit back in and try to say, well, come over here to me.
Yeah.
I can give you this and that. And that. Why your mommy living in a place like this? She got away from this.
Yeah, well, it's all about worth versus material. And where do we get our self-worth from? So she had to learn, with all of that stripped away, who was she left with? And that was part of her adventure.
The book you have here, this is a guy, the workbook. You came up with a workbook.
Yeah. So we had such a good response to the novel that, and a lot of the readers said that the book was life-changing. The book started a healing journey for them, and they wanted to know what was next. So I wrote this workbook. It's 224 pages of really a blueprint through their own healing journey and through their own manifestation.
I'm glad because she had a lot of healing to do, right?
Yeah. A lot of healing for herself and also for her generation.
Right. Because I remember in some parts of the book they came back like back in slavery time, and we're talking about standing around with about slavery and things like that.
And you can see how things move from the past right to the present if we don't heal them.
Give Miss Crawford a big hand. This is a book that it really, I read it at home, and that's the next time you come out there, we're really gonna sling at that book. I like to sling it, It becomes interesting, say, well, what did you write today? And there's and all of my dear. And I was like, no. You have some sayings in there too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're books.
Read this one.
So the quote is, stop chasing things, people, and experiences that are beneath the truth of who you are. You matter. And that is by Iyanla Van Zandt, who endorsed the book.
She endorsed you, yeah.
Yeah. Very grateful for that. She called the book a must-read, and it came along.
And somebody else quoted in this book too. Read that one.
What's that? Oh, myself?
Myself, and I. Go ahead.
Queens take what they want. Peasants accept what they're given. That's me.
You're from the DC area, right?
Maryland. Mm-hmm.
Maryland.
Area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Originally North Carolina, but
Originally, what part of North Carolina?
I was born in Clinton.
Clinton, okay.
Which nobody ever knows what I'm talking about. So if you know where Fort Bragg is,
Fort Bragg.
It's about 10 minutes away from Fort Bragg. But my family owned a blueberry farm in that Clinton area.
For real? They still own it, or
they sold parcels of the land, but they still have some acres of it.
Ding 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 ding. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill.
Okay.
Fast Domino Figures and his best on Blueberry. I didn't think the lady, late husband wrote them, so she didn't want him recorded. And that became the biggest and the best song in the land. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah.
What did you major in
College?
College.
Psychology and neuropsychology.
Whoa. Did that help you out with this book somewhat?
Well, definitely, I think I'm a psychologist at heart. Anyone who's been through trauma really wants to understand how trauma is healed. So that psychology background definitely comes out strong. But I think the thing that helped me the most is my own spirit, I have to say. Yeah. And my friends, my helpful friends.
Oh, that's helpful. Y'all got to check this book out. What a book! What a book! What a book! You got to check out this. Oh boy, we going. I don't know what to say. We pursue each other for a long time. Look, it paid off. It paid off big time. I'll leave with this. I remember I was reading a book by Bob Barker, Price is Right. And Ralph Edwards had a show called Truthful Consequences. And he was developing the show, and he wanted Bob Barker. And he waited for Bob Barker waited for about over close to 2 years for this, to go on. And they said, no, we got to do the fitting, this and that and the other. And then later on, I learned out of that book, out of that whole book I read about Bob Barker, is that you had to have patience. What did I say, everybody?
Patience.
You had to have patience. If he would say, well, later for you, man, I got to go on this, you waiting too long. Well, look, it paid off on him big time. It really paid off for him. I met him at the bookstore, at a book signing, and I mentioned that to him. I said, I read the book. He said about Ralph Evans. He said that he was a good man because you had to have that patience. When I said we were pursuing each other, come to do the show and everything. But I'm gonna tell you this behind your back and close your face. I don't run guests down like that. You were worth the time.
Not giving me the boot.
No, that boot.
I have rescheduled quite a few times. I appreciate you not giving me the boot.
No, you don't get the boot. No. Others get the boot. The ones that show up that they got the boot. Water. Well, I'd like to thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We would like to come back again, and as quote from gentleman president said, well, we didn't tell you this, you're fired.
Okay.
You're not fired with us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How did your family take to this book?
So there were a lot of tough conversations. That had to be had. So as the character was doing her healing, I was doing mine. And the funny thing is, I couldn't write a chapter until I got past it, my own life.
How long did the book take? How long?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. There were a lot of drafts in between, but 4 years from start to finish. Yeah. But they're very proud. They're very excited. They're very supportive and all that of how the book is doing and how it's touched people's lives. And yeah, I think it's even transformed our family.
Ladies and gentlemen,